Is consent enough? The hidden ethics of nude photography. When discussions about nude photography arise, one word appears almost immediately: consent. And for good reason. Consent is essential. Without it, ethical photography becomes impossible. A person must have the freedom to decide whether they want to participate, how they want to participate, and whether they are comfortable with the images being created. Most photographers understand this principle. Most models understand it as well. But an important question remains. Is consent enough? At first glance, the answer may seem obvious. If two adults willingly agree to create photographs together, the ethical issue appears resolved. Yet many photographers, artists, ethicists, and models argue that the situation is often more complex. Consent is the foundation of ethical practice. But a foundation alone does not create a complete structure. Consider the nature of photography itself. Unlike a conversation, a photograph can survive for decades. It can be shared, copied, archived, rediscovered years later. A person may consent to a photograph today without fully understanding how they will feel about that image 10 years from now. Life circumstances change, relationships change, careers change, personal comfort levels change. The image remains. This raises questions that go beyond simple permission. Ethics asks not only what is allowed, it asks what is responsible. Another factor involves power dynamics. Not all relationships exist on equal footing. A well-known photographer may possess influence, reputation, or professional opportunities that a model hopes to access. Even when consent is given, subtle pressures may exist. A person may agree because they fear disappointing someone, because they want approval, because they worry about losing an opportunity. None of these situations automatically invalidate consent, but they remind us that ethical decisions often involve more than a simple yes or no. The best photographers recognize this complexity. They understand that consent should be informed, ongoing, and freely given. Not rushed, not assumed, not treated as a one-time formality. Ethical practice often involves conversations before, during, and after a session. Questions are encouraged, boundaries are respected, changes are allowed. Trust becomes just as important as permission. There is also the question of intention. Why is the image being created? What purpose does it serve? How will it be presented? How will it be stored? Who will have access to it? These considerations may not determine whether a photograph is ethical, but they certainly influence the ethical environment in which it exists. The digital age has made these questions even more significant. Today, a single image can travel around the world in seconds. Photographs can be copied indefinitely. Files can outlive websites, devices, and even the people who created them. This reality creates responsibilities that previous generations of photographers never had to consider. A decision made in one moment may have consequences far into the future. This does not mean nude photography is inherently problematic. Far from it. Throughout history, artists have used the human body to explore beauty, identity, vulnerability, strength, and the shared human experience. Many powerful works of art have been created through respectful collaborations between photographers and subjects. But ethical photography requires more than artistic vision. It requires awareness. Awareness of the subject's humanity. Awareness of future consequences. Awareness of the responsibilities that accompany the act of creating an image. Perhaps the most important lesson is that consent should be viewed as a beginning rather than an ending. It opens the door to ethical practice. It does not complete the journey. The strongest photographic relationships are often built on something larger: communication, respect, trust, transparency, and a genuine commitment to treating subjects not merely as participants in an image, but as people whose dignity extends beyond the frame. So, is consent enough? It is essential. It is non-negotiable. But ethical photography asks us to go further. To think not only about permission, but about responsibility. Because the most ethical photographs are not simply the ones people agreed to create. They are the ones created with care, respect, and an understanding of the lasting impact images can have on human lives.